Okay, so let's conclude now the Chazar of the Maamor. We're holding Beis Vav. So it concludes that this is the love sickness, that the neshama really, what the neshama is seeking, ultimately is only one thing, the Eibishter alone. Paradoxically, the neshama is not seeking fulfillment. The paradox is that therein lies the fulfillment, not in the fulfillment in the conventional sense, but the fulfillment is in the complete bittul, the surrender to Hashem's ratzon, to the Shar Hanun. The neshama wants to lose itself, as it were, in Hashem. And then it becomes about the neshama, because Hashem wants a relationship with you. So it is about you, but it's about you because He wants it to be about you. That's what the neshama seeks. Every year they're seeking a connection to Atzmos and nothing less. In the words of the Maamor, it's the Shar Hanun, it's Dafke in Malchus, as explains, because in Malchus it's complete Helam, and he's Meidich, he elaborates that Malchus is the Hevel Bilvad. We also have to have this question, yes. So it's the unarticulated letter. A letter, especially when strung together, other letters already has a teichen. But Malchus Be'emes says there's the raw matter from which letters are formed. And so the Helam is greatest there. As if to say, it's saying something, but nothing. Because there's nothing to say. But I want you. And the Eibishter can't be defined. The Pnimius, the Chetzonius, Malchus is just, it's formless matter from which letters will be formed. What are you saying? Garnished. We'll see. We'll tell you what you're going to say. The Ashpa of the highest Fiddus, Malchus is a Makabal. So what are you going to say? What the Mashpia says. What Zoh says. That's Bechitzonius. The Pnimius is Adarab. Because Zoh is Tzir. So Zoh, the Sridus, don't express and can't express Atzmos and Dafkin, the Pshitas of Malchus, where you say nothing. Because there's nothing to be said in defining the Eibishter and even defining its longing. Therein lies the true connection. So, but what elicits that is the Helam. The Helam and the recognition that there is higher, but there's no Gilui here at all. So it traces the whole process of the Hevel and then the Tzura, the Oisius, and then the letters. The Malchus Bereishech HaShoicha, it's just the Hevel Bilvad. Therefore, in Malchus is the greatest longing. And he says the Malchus is Mushrish in Ratla, Reshet Loisyada, all the spheres, and this is the reason why. Reshet Loisyada, the Ando, Atzmos, that's what Malchus is really, which is why Malchus manifests without its seer, because it doesn't have a form, because it's expressive of the Eibishter, it's beyond all description and form. Whereas Zoh, the Svidis are rooted in Arich. Arich is already, it's very sublime, very high. Rotzen, it's Pshitus, it's Poshet, but there's Rotzen, it's a will, there's a description here. Rotzen means I want something, it's already outside of me, there's already the acknowledgement of outside, otherness. The very word will, I want, acknowledges something. Whereas Atik, or Adla, it's not I want, it's I am. And Malchus is rooted in the I am of the Eibishter. So therefore, and the words of the Maamor, it's a Bein Aroich, it's two levels in Keser. It's all called Keser. But the Bein Aroich, Pnimis HaKeser and Arich. And then he goes into Seilei Zayin. Malchus, which is need of tshuva, because Malchus descends into Biyah, and David Seberurim, and the descent, and all of the fall and the pitfalls and the Yeridis. So therein, Dafka is the Tzimoy. So therefore, our pasuk is Veheisir Hashem Mimcha kol chayli, you have to remove because there is chayli. Mashen came, the tzaddik is the chatchila, doesn't have this chayli. That's the pasuk where Pasha B'Shalach, which is Yitzias Mitzrayim, Matan Torah, Yidna Madrigas at Tzaddikim. Here there's the Sefer Devarim, Moishe is talking to the generation going into Yisrael, after all the Chatoim, all the Tshuva, Chetay, going by Ragnim and all the other Chatoim. So now it's David Yisak Tshuva, this is the younger generation. So here the Afik is Veheisir, and it says Veheisir Havaya, that's Atik. Ki ani Hashem Reifecha, which is the words that appear in Parsha B'Shalach, is Asher Teves Arich. Kol Amachel Shesamti B'Mitzrayim Yosim Alecha, Ki ani Hashem Reifecha. I will not, to begin with, place the illness upon you, because I'm God your healer. That's Asher Teves Arich. But here it's Veheisir Havayim Kol Chayli, and that's he says that. This is what the period we're in right now, which is the Shiv and the Nechemta that come after the plus of the Paranusa. Because first it was Matan Torah, everything was fine and wonderful, that was the Tzaddik, but then came the Chatoim and therefore Tshuva. The Cheta Egol, Shivasa B'Tammuz, and so on, then the plus of the Paranusa, and then comes the 7 Shabbosim of comfort. What's the comfort? The comfort is not to go back to where we were, because where we were led to what happened. Ultimately, it's part of what happened. But rather to go back to Tshuva is which is higher than the Yedid. That's what the Medrash David told Moishe. Do not be pained over the Shviras Al-Luchas, because the first Luchas only said it's Ad-Dibris, and another place it says, and Sefer Yeshua. The Luchas says, Kiflayim L'Tushiyah, double wisdom. And that's the double, meaning not just restored to where you were back. The Shaila is, it's not double, it's something else. It's another level. It's a higher level. You don't want the lower level. It's double Nechama. It's not this and that. It's not going back to where you were, it's going back even higher. So why is it a double Nechama? Similar question that Rabbi asked in the Sichos, in Pashtus, that Nachum Ami goes in Bais Rishon, Bais Sheni. But if Bais Sheni is less than Bais Rishon, you're comforted on Bais Rishon, you don't get a comfort by Bais Sheni. You get comforted on the bigger loss, it's not on the lesser loss. If you're comforted in the bigger loss, it includes the lesser loss. There's one Nechama. Similar question here. Why is it a double Nechama? If it's true Nechama, you're going back to a higher level. Higher than before. That's the Nechama. The Chura, what it means amazingly is that ultimately the Maila of the Tzaddik of the Baal Tshuva is one Maila. And that is innocence and purity. There's a Maila of the child over the adult. So implicit here is that ultimately it's not going to be just Tshuva alone, the Maila of Tzaddik as well. Regaining innocence even in the Tshuva. But if it's Tshuva, so I wasn't innocent. How can I be innocent now? What was, I can be higher, deeper, and everything else, but innocence is gone. A relationship, the innocence is gone. We can make it deeper. And we have to make it deeper with this birth. But the beauty, the unsullied waters, the pristine waters are no longer, and yet you're saying, yes, that's the Nachman. Not only the Maila of Tshuva, with all of its Mailas, the Yerida and the Cheles Ava and so on, but also the Maila of the Tzaddik, innocent. Both Mailas. It's not what he says in the Maimon, I'm just mentioning it. So let's concluding. So this is the base problem, Nachamol, the Yerida, the Aliyah, which is even higher than the Yerida. That's not enough. Because Yidden say, Azavani Hashem, Tzion says, Tzion is Etzem HaNeshama, don't send this to me through communication of Giluyim, I want you alone. So this cry of the Yid Azavani Hashem elicits, Yeruf Dara is the end of the Maimona. Anoichi, Nachemchem, and Anoichi twice. High even than Anoichi Valikecho. as it's going to be on Mashiach, what comes twice the word zeh. And then again, unlike Kriyas Yamsuf, there's only one time. Zeh Kelev Yamvei. That means it's a tzaddikim. He is based upon, again, I'm telling you, tzaddikim and the Ma'alav both milas. About the other way, like Bal Shuv and Tzaddik. So this is the Nacham Bekiflayim, that's the double Nacham Lasad Lava. It comes really, your first, the who, Mevaseh Tov. So he brings Eliyah because, I didn't look this up, but I did, remember it. It's the story of the showdown with the Navi Abba. So he healed the Mizbeach and built it up. This was destroyed, he built it up. And he brought his Karbonis, so that was, and then he manifested himself. Big showdown. So what's the Mizbeach? That's Malchus. And the Lashon is Vayirpa, he healed. Interesting way, didn't he? He healed the altar being destroyed. That's the healing of the Chaylas Am. There's a Sefer, that's the illusion here. And because of the Yidden were by Seich Ashtei Seifim, why Peshtech Seifim? Because as much as whether Yid will get into Gashmius and all the Taivas, the Chayla, the longing still remains. Can't be satisfied there. So and that's why he's challenging them. Confront your Chaylas Ava. Embrace it. Don't try and bury it. So how did he do that? He did the Oisus and Moisim, and he made them do tshuva, the whole Gilui there, the Karbonis that he brought. And the Yidden responded with what? Twice, Havai Yehu came 2 times again because of the Etzem and the Shama, and the Etzem Valikus. That's the Nacham Bekiflayim, which would be through Eliyah Mevaseh Tov, where each one of us will point with a finger, Gashmi's dike finger, and say 2 times Zeh, Hin Elokeinu Zeh, Zavai Kivin Eloi Nagil V'Nismecha B'Shuos. Right, friends, that's the general Chazorah.